Hey, what's up? Hello. If you're new here, my name is Kayla and you're watching Kayla's Bookish Vibes. Happy New Year. This is probably going to be my first upload of 2025. So hopefully 2025 is finding you and your family well. I figured we would start off our 2025 bookish journey together, going over some of my bookish goals for the year, as well as a nice little flip through of my bookish journal. Last year, I believe one of my very first videos on BookTube was showing you guys how I made my own book journal, and I will leave that video link down below if you're interested in knowing how I made my book journal and some of the materials that I used. But this year I decided to purchase a book journal that was already made, and I'm so glad that I did because this book journal is so adorable. I can't wait to share it with you guys. But before we do that, I'm sure you've noticed we are not in front of the book nook right now. It's still in the same room. My book nook is just over here, and if you don't know, this is a room that is like multifunctional. We have our book nook, we do homeschool in this room, but I also work in this room. I do work from home, and what you are seeing right now is my work area, which brings me to our sponsor for today's video. Shout out to FlexiSpot for sending me their standing EN1 desk, which is what you see behind me. Also, shout out to my husband for helping me put this desk together. It did seem rather simple. I watched him put it together and it took about 30 to 45 minutes for him to put the entire desk together, and he did say that it was pretty easy. The directions were self-explanatory. However, there was no way, with me being pregnant, there was no way I was going to be able to get down in the floor and do what is necessary to put the desk together. So thank you to my husband for doing that for me. I will say that my desk did come in two separate parts. So the legs came in one piece and then the desktop came separately on its own. But I love the fact that the desktop is just nice and smooth. It's just all one board. So that makes for like a really super seamless and smooth workspace. I also love the fact that this is a standing desk and it has a smooth electric height adjustment. So the shortest that it can go as far as like your sitting height is 28.1 inches, and the tallest that it can go is 45.7 inches. That is pretty tall. So for reference, I am 5'7", 5'7.5", and this desk goes pretty high. My husband is right at 6 foot, and even when he stands at it, it's pretty high. So I love the fact that it can adjust to different heights. My favorite part though is probably the memory presets. So you can easily store and recall different height settings with their memory system. So if you find that you sit at a certain height, you can press the desk to go to that specific height and then press the sitting button. And then whenever you press the sitting button again, it will automatically go to that height. And same for the standing position. If you find that you are most comfortable at the same position every time you stand, you can program it to sit that height. And then when you press the standing button, it will automatically go to that height. Now, eventually I will have to put my double monitors and my telephone and all of my working equipment on this desk, but I am confident in the stability of this desk. It does have a industrial grade steel frame, so I'm confident that the weight limit is up to 175 pounds. I'm sure that all the things that I need to put on this desk will comfortably fit, and I'm so excited to have added this addition to my workspace. I do love the fact that it sits and stands. I am someone who prefers to stand while I work. I don't know what it is, but it's easier on my back, I find, if I'm standing while I'm working. I also move around more if I stand while I'm working. But during this season of my life, being pregnant, I do find myself wanting to sit more often. So I love the flexibility that this desk allows me to have while I'm working from home. If you are interested in purchasing the FlexiSpot EN1 desk for yourself, please check out my description box below where I will have an affiliate link. Just know if you click the link and purchase the desk, I will get a small commission. Thank you so much to FlexiSpot for sponsoring this portion of today's video. Right, so without further ado, let's go ahead and get into our flip through of our journal. I'm so excited to show you guys this journal. It's so stinking cute. I actually purchased this from Inklings is the name of the company. This is what the box looks like when it came in. I did want to wait for you guys to open it, but I couldn't. I just could not wait. And I actually got this planner based off the recommendation of Chocolate Covered Pages. She was doing a video, like a Christmas video, where she was sharing like some bookish gifts that you can give to the bookish people in your life. And honestly, I don't really have any bookish people in my life, so I was watching for myself. And when she mentioned the book journal that she uses, I was like, okay, I'm gonna look into that because I knew I didn't want to make my book journal this year. So I looked on the website and I looked at all of the different covers and all of the different options that the seller has, Inklings, and I picked the one that I got, and I'm so happy with it. It's absolutely adorable, and you'll be able to see like all the different spreads and stuff in it. You can tell the person who made this bookish journal is a bookish person because she left no stone unturned. Like everything you need in a bookish journal is going to be in this journal. So let's go ahead and get to the flip through. All right, guys, this is my planner for 2025. How cute is this design? It says books are my happy place. Always fully booked 2025. I love the fact that this is rose gold, but I also just love the planner. Like, I just think it's so cute. These charms did not come with the planner. I ended up picking these up from Hobby Lobby. They were like on sale, and I just clipped them onto this little elastic band, and I thought those were cute. So we have an avocado, a pineapple, and some cherries. I just thought the colorway went well with what the planner was designed. So let's open her up. All right, this is the first page. It comes with like a page of stickers. Let me zoom you in a little bit. It just has some bookish stickers like when you started, when you finished. It also has like the 5-star rating stickers. It also has like some stickers if you've been reading an audiobook, which is cute, a regular book, or a Kindle or like e-reader, which I thought was really cute. However, it only comes with one page. Like, there's only one page of these stickers. So what I ended up doing was buying stickers on Etsy. I found a shop on Etsy called Orange Umbrella Co. I will leave this shop link down below, but I ended up getting like a bunch of bookish stickers from them. So I got some of these spicy rating stickers, which obviously I'm going to use for when I read romances to tell me in the future like how spicy was the romance that I read. I also got a lot of the star ratings, which I feel like these are the ones I'm going to use the most. So I got a few of those actually. And then I just got like these colorful labels. They're blank, but I got these to show like when I start a book and when I finish a book, and I plan on using those in the planner. And then I did also get more emblems for like if I'm reading an audiobook, if I'm reading an ebook, or if the book was like a physical read, then I can just put those stickers and that will let me know the format of the book and how I read it. And then I just got some extra like book stacks. I don't know what I'll use these for, but they were cute, so I got them. And then it came with this little freebie. So I will leave this shop linked for you down below. Super cute. Okay, here is my title page. It just says always fully booked, and I have my name here. Super cute. The next page is dates to remember. I don't really know how I'm going to fill this out yet, but I'll figure that out eventually. And then you have your full view of like the calendar for the year. Next, we have my 2025 goals. I love this spread. I think it turned out so cute. Here I just have BookTube, and I have my 2024 recap. Let me zoom you guys in a little bit. And then here I just have like the fact that I want to complete 3 series. These are 3 very specific series that I want to finish. So the Skyland series, the Green Sister series, and the Kindred's Curse series. Here is like a little flip card. It just says loading, and then if you flip it open, you can see that I want to read 50 books this year. And then I want to go to an author signing, at least one this year. Last year I went to a couple, but I don't know how many I'll be able to make it to this year, considering I will be very pregnant or having a newborn. Down here, it just says fantasy romance books. I want to read more fantasy romance in 2025. It's a genre that I really enjoy, and I feel like I didn't read enough of it last year. So I want to try and read more of it this year. And this is another flip page. It just has like a cute little sticker that says crying over fictional characters. And if you flip it, my other goal is to read at least 1 nonfiction book this year. On the other side, it has like my star rating breakdown. So if it's a 1 star, then it's a book that I really should have just DNF'd. I rarely ever give a book 1 star because at that point I will end up just DNFing the book. A 2 star means I did not enjoy and will not be recommending. A 3 stars, I enjoyed it, but I didn't love it. 4 stars, I loved it and will recommend and will probably reread that book. And then 5 star means I was obsessed with the book and will not stop talking about it. So that is like my star breakdown. If you ever wanted to know what my star ratings mean to me personally, that is a breakdown of my star ratings. And then over here is just some anticipated releases that I'm looking forward to this year. After that is a couple of reading checklists. These are some books that I've already read this year, but you get a few pages of the reading checklist. So quite a few. And then you get a half page of a bookshelf. I haven't decided how I want to color this in just yet. And I'm glad that the first page is just like a half view of the bookshelf, because I know I'll at least be able to fill this bookshelf up. But if you flip the page, you get like a full bookshelf. And I don't see myself being able to read that many books this year. But if I do, then there's more than enough space for them all. Then you have your book tracker series, which is pretty self-explanatory. If you want to track all the series that you're reading, you can do so on this spread. Next, there are a few pages of quotes, which I really love. I wish I had really pretty like calligraphy handwriting so then I could put in all the beautiful quotes that I read, but I don't. So I don't know how I'm going to fill these pages in just yet. Then we have the pre-orders. I don't pre-order books. I've had a bad experience with pre-ordering books, so I just don't do that anymore. So I will probably try to repurpose this spread. Next, we have a list of authors in their backlist. These are all authors that I want to read more of. Some of them I have completed, but I want to read more of their books. So we have Toni Morrison, Tananarive Due, Lizelle Stanberry, Christina Forrest, Ann Petrie, Jason Reynolds. Over here is Kennedy Ryan, S.A. Cosby, Victor Laval, J. California Cooper, Elizabeth Acevedo, and Colson Whitehead. Then you have a section if there are any books that you want to reread. I don't typically reread enough books in a year to fill this up, so I will probably repurpose this spread as well to maybe show some of the books that I read with my cousins. We have like a cousin book group chat situation going, so I'll probably keep track of all the books that we read together this year here. And then 2025 playlist. I haven't decided if I want to put like my favorite audiobooks here or if I just want to track music that I like. I haven't decided, but I'll figure it out eventually. And then we have movie trackers. Me and my family, we do go to the movies a lot, and me and my husband watch a lot of movies together, like on our streaming platforms. So I do plan on keeping track of all the movies that we watch here. I don't, however, watch a lot of television shows, so I won't be keeping track of anything here. I watch like the same 5 television shows, so there's no point in keeping track of those. And then here I plan to keep, this actually came blank and you could fill it in however you want. I just put monthly faves. So each month I'll pick my favorite book of the month and put the cover here. And that will help me later on at the end of the year when I'm trying to figure out what my favorite book of the year is. Then we have our 5-star reads. I don't see myself being able to fill this up. I don't even see myself being able to fill up half of this page. I feel like I don't give out a lot of 5-star. So I don't know, but it's good to have. I'll be able to see how many 5-star books exactly that I have this year because I plan on keeping track of this adamantly. And then there's a couple of challenges that are included in this planner. Now, I don't plan on like actively trying to fill in the challenges. I'm just going to read however I normally read. And then if any of those books happen to fall into the category, I'll fill them in. And then at the end of the year, I'll just be able to see like, did I complete any of the challenges? If not, it's completely fine. But as you can see, some of the books I read this year have already matched some of the prompts. So that's how I plan on filling in these pages, if I fill them in at all. Then we have our genre reading challenge, read through the ages challenge. Again, if the books I read happen to fall into these categories, I don't mind putting them in, but I'm not going to go out of my way to try and find books that fit these prompts. And then this is another one that's around the world reading challenge. I think I want to conquer this one year, but just not this year. But I do think it would be really cool to try and read a book from each continent. Then we have the 25 books that I want to read in 2025. I'll be going over these with you all in just a few. And then we have our reading goal tracker. I love these because it's so satisfying to like shade in each box as you read. And then at the end of the year, see how many books you read. I don't know what it is about a chart, but it scratches that spot of my brain. And then this is like a bracket system. So at the end of the year, I'll be able to tell which is my favorite book by again picking those top books that I had each month and using the bracket system to pick my favorite or the winner for the year. This is a blank spread that you can literally use to do anything that you want. And I plan to just keep track of how many books I read in the month. Then you have your monthly reading stats and your genre tallies. I love the fact that you left the genres blank here so you can pick whatever genre you read personally. I read quite a few genres, so I can list them all here. And then the monthly reading stats breaks it down by the number of books that you read, the total of pages, whether it was a book, an ebook, an audio, if you DNF'd it, and your star rating, as well as how many books that you hauled for that month. I plan on trying to use the graphs that Storygraphs gives me at the end of the year to fill this in, and maybe even the pages read in 2025. I'm not good at making graphs or like figuring out the formula to make a graph, but I do enjoy looking at graphs. So hopefully Storygraph will help me fill both of these out at the end of the year. And then you get a few blank pages if you want to make your own spread. So here I made my own where I'm just going to be tracking the library books that I check out, like the physical library books. I use Libby and Hoopla a lot, but I also want to start checking out more physical library books. And as you can see, I've already checked out 2 this year. So I just made this to keep track of that. And then you get more blank pages to make whatever spread that you want. Then you actually get into the planner portion of the reading journal planner. And I do plan on using this to keep track and keep organized, like all the content that I plan on filming for this channel. Each month has a cute little spread, and then you get like the monthly view, so I can fill in like which days I want to upload. And then each month also has like a books to read, so if you want to make a monthly TBR, you can do that here. And then if there are any new releases coming out for that month, you can also list them here. So this section is in front of every month. And then the view that I got for my planner is the vertical view. So again, I just plan on using this to let me know and like keep me organized on what days I need to be reading, what days I need to be filming, what days I needed to be editing, all those types of things. And then at the end of every month is a monthly wrap up, which I think this will be really helpful when I film my monthly reading wrap ups here on my channel. I think this will be really helpful to refer to. And then if there are any books that you hauled for the month, you can add those here. So you can list all the books that you read, the total number of books, your average rating, if it was print, ebook, or audiobook, and then, you know, the genres and the best book that you chose for the month. And then you get like a little blank notes page. And then at the end of every quarter, so like every 3 months, you also get a quarterly check-in. So you get your standout reads for the quarter, your current loves or favorites for the quarter, author, character, TV show, movie, music, or any places that you visited. I can't wait to fill these in with like little pictures for each quarter. So you have memorable moments, goals, and progress. And then your reading goal progress. So how many books you've read towards your goal, how close you are to it. And then just your reading stats for the quarter. This is at the end of every 3 months. So I think it's a really good way to check in, every quarter. Now, after all the months, you do get like a 2025 check-in, and that's just like for your year. So you have your 2025 reading year, so you can put all your favorites for the year in totality, your top 10 books of the year, your reading stats for the year, and then it asks like what anticipated releases you have for the following year. So love that. You do get like 2 cute little coloring pages. These are so cute. And then at the very back of the book is where you house all of your reviews. And there are a lot of pages for reviews, like a lot. And you can fit 2 books on each page. I love the fact that the review section has whether the book came from your collection, your library, whether it was an ARC, or it even has others. So like if a publisher sent you the book, you could put that there as well. It does ask if you would recommend, yes, no, maybe. And then the format that you read it. So audiobook, physical book, ebook, and then if you posted about it. So there's like a little checkbox here that says, did you post about it? So I think it's really helpful for people who do social media like BookTube or Instagram. Did you post about this book on your platforms? And again, you get a lot of those pages. So even if you're someone who reads like 150 books a year, I would still definitely recommend this planner. I have talked your head off enough about this planner, and I flipped through and showed you all the cute little spreads that are in here. I really do enjoy this planner. I love the size of it and like the chunkiness of it. It's not too chunky, but it's not like super thin. I really do feel like you got your money's worth with this planner. So shout out to Chocolate Cover Pages for recommending the journal. I'm so glad that I picked it up. And now, one of the spreads that I want to go over with you is the 25 books that I want to read in 2025. I have a little running list in my notes app. So we're going to go over those because I want to share those with you, and you'll be seeing some of these in reading vlogs here on my channel. Not all of them will be in reading vlogs. Some of them I will just be reading on my own time. But I thought I would give you like an idea of what you can expect from me here this year and some of the books that I'll be reading. So the first book I want to read, not necessarily in this particular order, but like, the first one on the list is The Love Lyric by Christina Forrest. You guys know I love me some Christina Forrest, and one of my goals is to finish the Green Sisters book series, and that is the last book in the series. It's a trilogy. They are standalone, so you don't have to read them in order, but you obviously should, just so you can enjoy the book series more. But I really want to get to that one. I believe that the last one follows the oldest sister, and I feel like I'm going to be able to relate to her being the oldest sister. She seems to have like a lot on her plate, so I'm really excited to see her romance unfold. So far, my favorite in the series has been The Neighbor Favor. That's the only one that I've given 5 stars, so I want to see if the third book is going to, you know, beat The Neighbor Favor for me. The next book I want to read is This Could Be Us by Kennedy Ryan. Obviously, I want to read that whole series. That's one of my goals for the year. So the second and the third book is This Could Be Us and Can't Get Enough, both by Kennedy Ryan. I want to complete the series this year. I read Before I Let Go 2 years ago. Absolutely loved it, 5 stars. And so many people have said that they really enjoyed This Could Be Us more than Before I Let Go. And I don't know if I'm going to be one of those people. Only because I have tried to read the book already and I ended up putting it aside after the first chapter. I just wasn't like getting into it, and I didn't want to continue reading it knowing that I wasn't enjoying it within the first chapter. So I was like, let me put this away. I'll pick it up at a different time when I'm in a different headspace and maybe I'll enjoy it more. So I'm going to pick it up again this year, and hopefully I can get, you know, into the groove of reading that book. So number 4, the fourth one on this list is going to be The Ballad of Falling Dragons by Sarah Parker. This is the second book in the Moonfall series. I read When the Moon Hatched last year and loved it. That was one of the fantasy romances that I really, really enjoyed. And I can't wait to read the second one. I believe it comes out in October. And I'm planning on picking it up and reading it the month that it comes out because I'm just so excited for that book. Number 5 on the list is The Attic Child. This book has been on my physical shelf, my physical TBR, for so long. And there are a few ladies that I follow on Bookstagram who actually mentioned that book in like their top reads of 2024, said that it was one of their favorite like top 10, top 5 type books. So I'm really excited because it already sounds like a book that I would really enjoy. Hence the reason I bought the book. But now that I've seen like other people review it and say how much they loved it and how much, you know, they really enjoyed their writing and the subject matter of the book, I'm excited to read it and I want to get to it in 2025. Number 6, Parable of the Sower by Miss Octavia Butler. I have never read anything, not a single book have I read by Miss Octavia Butler, and that just sounds very anti-Black to me. And I'm anything but that. So we need to rectify that situation, and I need to pick up something by Miss Octavia Butler. I have her on my shelf. You guys know I'm just now getting into sci-fi. I got into sci-fi last year. I'm just getting into sci-fi, and so many of you have recommended that I read her books if I'm trying to figure out if sci-fi is the genre that I enjoy. So I'm excited to read that. Also, people have been drawing a lot of parallels to the things that have been written in her books versus like things that are happening today in like very much real life. So I'm interested to seeing like, you know, where those parallels are. I don't have anything to compare it to because I haven't read the book, so I'm always just like, you know, lost when people make those parallels or those like conclusions, and I just want to feel like I know what the heck they're talking about. So I want to read that book this year. Next we have Bitter and Sweet by Miss Rhonda McKnight. My husband purchased this book for me last year, and I actually got it signed by Miss Rhonda McKnight when she came to my city. She was so sweet. I actually think I vlogged that experience. He put it in like a little book bouquet that he made for me. It was the sweetest little gift. But I want to read that book this year because I didn't get to it last year, and I wanted to read it in the summer last year. But I think I'm just going to pick it up whenever the mood strikes me this year. I'm not going to like say I'm only going to read it in the summer. Whenever the mood strikes me, I'm going to pick that book up to read it. Next on my list, I have War Girls by Tochi. I don't know how to pronounce this last name and I don't want to mess it up. But again, you guys know I got into sci-fi last year. I want to continue reading sci-fi this year, and this book I already own, and I believe I have the next book in this series as well. The cover of this book is absolutely stunning. What better time to read it than in 2025? I just want to pick it up and read it. I do believe this is YA, so I have realized that I really enjoy YA sci-fi, so I'm excited to read this one. Number 9, we have The Dangerous Ones by Ms. Lauren Blackwood. I said I was going to read this in October last year. I had so many books on my TBR in October. There was no way I was going to read all of them. I don't know why I made a TBR, to be honest, but I don't know why I put so many books on that TBR for that month. But I didn't get to that one. And I have yet to see a lot of people talk about this book. And so I want to read it, and I want to figure out, like, is this a good book? Is maybe no one talking about it because it wasn't very good? Or do they just not know that it's really good and they need to read it, and I should be the one to tell them. I don't know. So I want to read that book at some point this year. Next, we have James by Percival Everett. This book has won so many awards and I've seen this book everywhere. This is probably not going to be a book that I read for a vlog here on my channel because me and my cousins are reading it in like our little cousin book club that we have going on. It's just 3 of us and we read books together and discuss them. We have a club set up on Fable, but we don't even discuss them in Fable. We just text each other in our group chat. So I don't know why we have the Fable, but that is a book that I'm going to be reading with them very, very soon. So I probably won't vlog that one, but you will see my thoughts on it in my monthly reading wrap up. Number 11, we have My Darkest Hour by S.A. Cosby. I actually just want to read like all of S.A. Cosby's backlist. I believe he has a book coming out in 2025. But before I get to that one, I want to read all of the books that I haven't read by him yet. I've read 3 of his books so far and I've loved them. All 3, I loved them. So I want to continue reading like his backlog so I can feel like I'm caught up before I pick up this new book in 2025. Number 12 is If the Boot Fits by Rebecca Weatherspoon. I'm gonna put the cover on the screen, but it's so ugly. Listen to me. I read the first book in this series. I forget what the first book was called, but I'll leave it on the screen. And I loved it. It's like a cowboy romance. The cowboys are black and very rich. They own a ranch. And the romance was cute. It was like a really cute romance, but no one is talking about these books because one, I'm pretty sure they're a bit older. They're a little older. They're not like brand new books that just got released or anything. But the covers of these are horrendous. And the print of them, I believe, are like the mass market paperbacks. So they're like the little small books. I read them on my Kindle. I do own the 3 mass paperbacks, but I've been reading them on my Kindle and I want to go ahead and read the second one because I really did enjoy the first one. So if you haven't picked up these books, check to see if they're available on your Libby or your Hoopla and read them on your Kindle or your phone, like with your Kindle app. I think these are really cute romances and no one's talking about them. So check out the first one, okay? Next, we have Brooklyn by Miss Tracy Brown. Now, I want to read more urban fiction and urban romance in 2025. I used to read a lot of it, especially when I first got my Kindle. But then once I started like discovering all of these traditionally published books by Black authors, I've just been like snagging them up. And those are the books that I have been reading. I don't really see that changing a lot. But I do want to make a conscious effort of reading more urban fiction and urban romances in 2025. Not just traditionally published urban fiction and urban romance, but also like indie authors. I used to read so much of them, especially when I first got on Book Talk. I think it's because that's all I saw on Book Talk when I finally discovered it. And it was just like, oh, I have a Kindle. I have Kindle Unlimited. Let me read all these books that they're suggesting. And a lot of those were indie published. And I just kind of like straight away when I found, you know, like my own taste and the own types of books that I enjoy reading personally, I just kind of like stopped reading those. And I do want to read a few more of those this year. I don't think I read any last year. And if I did, they were like novellas. So I want to try to rectify that. And this year I'm going to start with Brooklyn by Tracy Brown. I also have a series by her on my shelf. I believe it's called White Lines. And I believe there's like three books in that series, or 3 or 4, but I have all of the books in that series and I kind of want to read that one this year too, that whole series. We'll see. Next, we have The Blueprint by Gianna Rashad. This is a 5-star prediction for me. I feel like this is going to be a 5-star book for me, and I don't know why I haven't picked it up. Like, I literally have no reason why I haven't read this book, because every time I see it, I keep saying, I bet that's going to be a 5-star. I bet that's going to be a 5-star. And then I still just pick something else to read, but I want to get to that one in 2025. Next, we have Acts of Forgiveness by Mara Cheeks. This is another book that is like predicted to be a 4 to 5 star for me. Same thing with same thing with The Blueprint. I don't know why I haven't picked it up. I need to, and I haven't really seen anyone talk about it, so I need to pick both of those books up. Coming in number 16 is Quicksilver. I forget the author of this, but I'll put it on the screen. I want to read this because a lot of the romantasy girlies that I follow, this was in their top books of 2024 that they read. And I did see a lot of hype about this book. And a lot of the girls that I follow that read romantasy really loved this book specifically. I don't know if I'm going to love it as much as they do, but I do want to read it because I realize that I enjoy romantasy and I'm going to read more of it. And number 17, Onyx Storm. Obviously, this is the 3rd book in the Fourth Wing series, the Empyrean series, I believe is what it's called. I've already read Fourth Wing and I've read Iron Flame, I think is the 2nd book. I completed both of those. So I'll be reading Onyx Storm. I probably will purchase it when it comes out, but I'm not in like a rush to read it. I just want to read it before 2025 ends. Then we have 18, Heat of the Everflame by Pink Cole. That is the third book in that series, and it is thick. It's a thick book. But honestly, all the books in that series are thick, and I have enjoyed the first two, like really enjoyed the first two. And I really want to get to the third one because it's book 2 ends on a cliffhanger, and I'm just like, I need to read book 3, but I haven't picked it up because we don't know when book 4 comes out, and I'm so annoyed at that. She keeps changing the release date. At this point, there isn't even a release date. And so I haven't read book 3 because I just know like once I read book 3, I'm gonna have to wait for book 4, and that's not appealing for me. But I decided I'm just gonna bite the bullet, go ahead and read the brick, and then whenever she releases book 4, I'll read book 4. Coming in at 19, Don't Cry for Me by Daniel Black. This book I probably will read very, very soon for a video that I have planned, but I do really want to read this book. And then number 20, The Good House by Tananarive Due. I read, my favorite book of 2024 was The Reformatory by this author. That was the first book that I read by her. And so many of you guys said that I need to read The Good House by Tananarive Due, and I want to get to that book in 2025. If not that book, another book by Tananarive Due, because I loved The Reformatory. 21, Sing Me to Sleep by Gabby Burton. I do own this book, and this is a book that I just pulled off my shelf that said, you've had this book on your shelf for a while, you need to read it. There is another book in the series, and I love the cover of the second book, but I don't want to buy it until I at least read the first book. And I believe this is a romantasy as well. It's YA. It's YA, and it has Black characters, so sign me up. Then we have at number 2, Sky Full of Elephants by Sibo Campbell. I'm excited about this book. One of my favorite booktubers here on BookTube absolutely loved that book, so I'm really excited to read that one. Then we have 23, Blood Like Magic by Lizelle Samberry. I read Monsters, not Monsters We Defy. It wasn't Monsters We Defy. I read a book by Lizelle Samberry recently. I don't know why I can't remember the name of the book. Delicious Monsters. There we go. I read Delicious Monsters a couple of months ago, and I really enjoyed that book. And I have Blood Like Magic on my shelf from Lizelle Samberry. I know that is a series because I have the other book as well. I don't know if it's a duology or if there's 3. I think it's just a duology. So it's Blood Like Magic and Blood Like Fate. I want to read both of those, but I'm just going to put Blood Like Magic on the list for 2025. I love the covers for both of these books. They're stunning. And again, I want to read more fantasy in 2025 because it's a genre that I really enjoy. So I want to read more of it. And I do believe that there's romance included in this book. I don't know if it's necessarily like a romantasy or whatever, but I do know that there is romance in the book, and it is YA. So, you know, I enjoy a good YA as well. 24, A Song of Wrath and Ruin by Roseanne Brown. I think it was on my TikTok, I asked for recommendations for Black romantasy, because listen, baby, when I find a genre that I really like, I'm going to pick up the genre, but I'm also always going to look for it in Black, okay? So I asked for recommendations, like if there were any really good fantasy romances written by a Black author about Black characters, because baby, I want to read those, okay? I want to read those. And someone recommended this series. Actually, a few people recommended this. I believe it's a duology, and I do have both of the books. So the first one is A Song of Wrath and Ruin, and then the second one is A Psalm of Storms and Silence. And I love the covers of these books. I have them both somewhere up there, and I do plan on reading them in 2025. And then the last book on my list, literally for the same reason that A Song of Wrath and Ruin is there, Feybound by Sarah El Arafi. Probably pronouncing that wrong, but I want to read that one. I also own that book on my shelf, and for the same reasons. I believe it is a romantic fantasy or fantasy romance, whatever the correct way of saying that is, and it is written by a Black author about Black characters. So that's on my list as well. As you can see, we have a lot of fantasy on here, and I'm really excited about that, guys, because I enjoy fantasy and I need to read more of it. So those are the 25 books that I want to get to in 2025. I don't necessarily know if I'm going to get to them all, but the goal is to try. I'm also going to be reading obviously other books besides just those books. So things that I naturally gravitate towards, like historical fiction will still be read, more romances will still be read, just like contemporary literary fiction, those things will still be read. Thrillers, of course, are always going to be in there, but these books are books that I'm going to try my best to prioritize. We'll see if that happens, okay? Those are some of the plans that I have for our bookish year in 2025, and that was the flip through of my cute little planner. I'm probably just gonna sit here and fill it out now that I've finally shown you guys. I wanted to show you guys with it as blank as possible so that if you like the way the planner looks, you can go get it yourself without me like filling everything in and decorating every page. Then you wouldn't really know what you're getting, you know what I'm saying? So I will leave that link down below. I'm also going to leave Chocolate Covered Pages video down below where she recommended this specific she didn't recommend this specific planner, but she recommended the seller of it. I think she got the same planner but like in a different design, but I'll leave her video down below because there were some other really good gift items on there. So if you got a birthday or something coming up, or you got some gift cards that you want to spend, there were some good gifts on there. This is really the only one that I need, but she has some really good bookish gift ideas over there. So if you made it to the end of today's video, I really appreciate you watching my first video of 2025, and I can't wait to see you guys in my next video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. See you in the next one. Bye.